Good morning, sunshines. It's 7:51 a.m., June 11th, 2025. Currently in London, on my couch. I tried to get up at 5. It was the usual time. And kept my alarm going on until like 6:30 because I just could not move. But yet I couldn't sit still all night long. Now I feel a bit better because, Johnny gave me 2 painkillers, 2 Mitals. I know I try to avoid them on my period, painkillers, but the pain is just so bad. You can't even do anything. Like, you can't even just lay there. I wanted to elaborate because I feel like, at least for myself growing up, it was not necessarily, like, you're educated about periods and cycles, but you're not educated about the agony and the pain and the inability to do anything. Like, it's not, at least for myself, I did not grow up in a place where you watch TV you don't watch TV, like maybe at night, but you don't watch TV in the day. And I wouldn't do that either. But like, you always do something. And yes, perhaps it's a family of workaholics, but I mean, like, I kind of like it. I like how productive we all are. But we're all also spiritually and like self-aware. But even with friends or male friends, like in high school, I didn't tell people I was on my period. You just say, like, I don't feel well. Where now, when I go to the gym and my friends, like trainer friends, see me there, they can tell I'm not myself that day. And I'm not shy now to be like, my uterus is shedding its lining and it's painful and I feel like I'm dying inside. Not even inside. I feel like I'm dying everywhere. Like, genuinely. I feel like Jesus Christ on the cross. I was laying there. Oh, who is coming in right now? I am going to move away from the window because, oh my God. Oh my God, I can't put, oh fuck. Oh. You guys, it's so bad. I thought it'd be a bit easier to make this podcast episode. But it genuinely feels like 3 people have stabbed knives in your gut. And then every like couple minutes they just turn it just on an angle a little bit and never take it out. And it's like one of those blender machines that just every couple minutes just turns. Oh. And okay, this definitely is not as beneficial as I was hoping it would be. The point is, I just wanted to start the conversation around the time of the month. I know obviously some people talk about it, but maybe it's like not on my feed because I don't usually think about it. And maybe some people are super open and like there's a very casual conversation around people's cycles. But I feel like it's not. And maybe mine's extra. I know mine's like worse than the majority of my friends. Could also be because I think to the extent of like how badly you want kids impacts how painful your period is. And I was speaking with my mom yesterday and we were laughing or maybe 2 days ago, because she said when I was 5 she was dropping me off at school in the cloakroom, and I looked at her and I was like, I just don't know who I'm going to marry. She was like, oh, well, you're only 5. Like, you don't have to worry about that now. And apparently I was like, I want to marry Dad, but you already did. And she was like, yeah. Or no, I said, I want to marry Dad. And she's like, well, he's taken. What about Nikolai? And I was like, oh. She goes, Nikolai's cute. And I was like, he's too young. He also was 5. And the point is, though, I've literally been thinking about it, apparently, since I was 5. And wanted to marry my dad because he's such a great dad and such a great husband that it was like, oh, what a great man. Like, hope I find somebody who lives up to that. So, and not saying that people who don't have bad periods don't want kids. I just am kind of a little more traditional in that sense that, like, yes, I'll have a career, but the career wasn't the goal. The family is the goal, and then whatever happens in the meantime is great. Oh my God. Okay. Oh. Who knows, this might not be as helpful because I'm kind of just like groaning on here. I'll probably have to redo this when I can actually speak properly, but maybe then at least you can hear the reality of the situation, where it's quite difficult, because I woke up this morning and was like, how am I going to do, like, real life? Because if you don't take painkillers, you genuinely cannot move. Well, like, you move because you keep squirming around, but you just go from somewhere to sit to somewhere other to sit, and then I, like, literally need to sit in the fetal position and on my, like, more like child's pose, but knees together and as tight as possible. I don't know why, it makes it a bit easier. I think maybe it's warmer. Johnny made me my heating water bottle this morning. Heating bag thing for your belly. And then I was eating froyo at 7:30 a.m. He ordered it last night for me, but I couldn't eat it. And then this morning I woke up just crying because you feel so nauseous and in pain. It's like, oh, and then not to be TMI, but like seeing the blood then is just so depressing because you're like, oh, I'm sorry, little Eggie. Another time. So, my intention, I would really like young girls to feel so comfortable. And maybe when you're that young, like when people first get their periods, I don't remember it being like this painful. I don't really remember it. It's amazing. I feel like I genuinely forget about it every month, and then the next month comes around and I'm like, oh, surprise, I forgot that this is what it feels like every time. And I can't move. So I think it's important to just start sharing what's going on. And like, yeah, it does not sound nice when I go into the details. When I was telling Johnny, it feels like 3 knives are jolted inside my gut. And I feel like I'm literally bleeding out on the cross because my arms were out wide and I was just laying there. And it's like, not to be dramatic, but I feel like you could slit my wrists and I wouldn't even tell. Like, I couldn't even, like, I know it's so intense, and saying that stuff out loud seems like so extreme, but that's the reality of what's going on inside my head and my body, of like how painful it is. So I guess I don't want to scare anyone, like, for younger people listening to it. Not that the 13-year-olds are going to be listening to this, but just want them to feel empowered that, like, it's okay if you need to take a day off. Because I know a friend years ago, she was a trainer, and she used to cancel her clients on the day of her period sometimes if her cramps were that bad. And I was like, how? I could never cancel a day unless I was dying or someone else was dying. Like, that's literally, I feel like, the only time that I canceled things in my day is when I flew to LA for death. Like, other than that, like, show up to work with a broken ankle. They sent me home because obviously I couldn't work, but I still showed up. Like, I wasn't fully broken, but you know what I mean. So that's my point, in the sense that, like, as a female, just to understand that it's not unusual if, like, not to feel guilt around not being able to do anything. Because I definitely feel, it's like I'm crying because I'm in pain. And then when I realize that I'm not going to be able to do anything, at least for a couple hours until, like, painkillers kick in, then I'm even more sad because I don't know what to do. Because I can't do anything. And then just sitting there with it is so uncomfortable. Like, it's so hard to read because it's just like, I don't anything. Anyways, well, maybe it's not an entirely useless podcast, but at least you can hear what it's like. I think having a boyfriend who loves you is very helpful, and who gives you the time. And I think it's okay to accept that if you do have that. I used to feel bad because I wouldn't want somebody to, like, also not have to be able to do anything. But Johnny laid with me for a couple minutes this morning and just kind of held me as I couldn't move, but also couldn't not move. And it does help to just have that extra kind of weight almost, and, like, free pressure. Not like free, but, like, you know, like a human blanket, but not too heavy. That makes sense. Anyways, okay, you get the gist. I'll try again tomorrow, or not. We'll see what happens. Okay, I love you. I hope you give yourself some space to just try to breathe through it and learn to honor it in your body and the beautiful things that it goes through in order to reproduce. That is what I am practicing. It's gratitude and honor for even the discomfort and pain, because of the way that our bodies are built and designed and created is pretty remarkable. All right, love you. I will try my best to just be, and then who knows, do later. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I love you.